The Nigerian Super Falcons are preparing for the opening match against Mali at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon. They arrived Cameroon on Wednesday, and the players and coach are eager to defend the title they won in 2014. Meanwhile, Super Falcons midfielder Rita Chikwelu will now captain the team during the tournament. The Sweden-based midfielder replaces Evelyn Waboku, who has been left out of the squad due to a foot injury. The Falcons will next face Ghana on November the 23rd, while their final group game will be against Kenya on November the 26th. Joining us now is Channels TV sports correspondent Cecilia Morigwe. Thank you for joining us, Cecilia.
Thank you.
Now, the girls are in Cameroon. They want to defend the title.
Yeah.
And of course, Cameroon, on the other hand, is saying they were hosting
to win.
To win.
Yeah.
Of course, Mali would also want to have a good outing. So how prepared are the girls for this tournament?
Yeah, I think generally, in terms of all the teams actually coming up, participating in this tournament, I think the Super Falcons happen to be least prepared. Ghana also didn't play much friendly games. Now, Cameroon are saying they're hosting to it simply because they had a whole lot of friendly games. They played against Tanzania. I mean, they won the first one, the second, and they lost. That was their last preparation game. They played against Kenya, home and away, and some other friendlies they played. But for Super Falcons, they didn't have the chance to actually play other countries. Although they played some few games against Capital City Doves, that's a local club sides in Nigeria. They played against some boys team, boys academy, Illyrica boys and the others. They also played against the Falconets who are in Papua New Guinea for the World Cup. But after that, there was really nothing much. And just a few, Benton for us to when they were going to travel, the captain, pick up an injury register. That's why you're having a Rita Chikwelu. She'll be the one to captain the team, assisted by Orale Osinachi. So having all this at the back of our mind, we know that it's going to be difficult for the Super Falcons because even Kenya, played against AJ, played against Cameroon, they lost the game and all that. But for them to be able to play, friendlies, it tells you that they're really prepared for the tournament because they know the Super Falcons, they've won it 7 times. They've been to every World Cup edition and all that, although they've not really, their participation has not really been good because they've never been past our quarterfinals and all that. So when you look at that, it tells you that you can't be scared of the other country because of the level of preparations they had. But we have a coach, Florence Magbemi, experienced, she the very first edition of the African Women's Championship. She won in 1988, 2000, 2002. So then she was the captain 3 times. She lifted it. So she knows what's at stake. History beckons. She knows that if she can actually lead the Super Falcons to retain the title, of course, she would have won it as a captain and also as a coach. So from all this, it tells you that, okay, the girls, well, they have so much to prove. And taking a look at the new captain, Rita Chikwelu, attacking midfielder. She's well experienced. She made her debut in 2007 for the Super Falcons. That was the World Cup in China. 2008, she was at the Olympics in Beijing. And of course, 2011, she was at the World Cup in Germany. So she's got the experience. So they may not necessarily miss Evelyn Nwamboko, the captain, so much. But with the level of preparations we had, I'm afraid that, well, we may not be as clinical as it could be. But I think the Nigerian spirit will always come in, and the girls will obviously want to give their best.
Of course, we want them to give their best. But apart from not playing enough friendlies, in terms of preparation, are there other challenges that the girls probably might be facing that could, hinder their, great performances on their part?
I think, we know financially, usually, the girls don't really get the look in at the chance that the boys usually have. That has been going on for a very long time. And Nigeria Football Federation came out to say yesterday when they were traveling, like on Wednesday before they left, they said, okay, look, when our financial resources are better, financially when we are better, we'll definitely want to treat you like the champions you are. We'll obviously want to settle all your standings and all that. So that's what the girls are banking on. Okay, we're going here. Let's stay focused. Let's win. Let's forget the distractions, whatever is happening around us, and just focus to win. But sometimes, there's a long way in which your hope and, of course, your spirit and your Nigerian spirit can actually take you. How far can it take you to a particular place, especially when the things you actually need around you are not really there? I was speaking with some of the journalists that have arrived there, that arrived yesterday and early this morning. We were like, okay, they're still waiting for the kids to actually arrive camp, and that's really not so good. I felt, okay, the kids would have been with the girls while they were flying. Maybe the kids okay, road trip or something. Maybe that's why there's a delay. So the kit they are going to use on Sunday, as last time I spoke to some of the journalists over there at about 3 p.m., 2 p.m. this afternoon, they said the kit hasn't arrived. So they had their first training session this morning. So I think they shouldn't worry about that. You know, just stay focused and see how they can actually win the game.
Oh, Cecilia, before I let you go, there's a story that this tournament is not just about football. It goes beyond football. I mean, the Confederation of African Football is partnering with UNICEF and other agencies to use this medium to canvass against child marriage. Can you just talk more about this in about a minute?
Okay, you know, in Cameroon, I mean, there's this statistics that look about 1 of every 5 girls from 15 to 19 are actually married, which is not a good statistic. So they're hosting a tournament, and CAF feels, okay, having this at the back of our mind, we'll partner with the Cameroonian Football Federation, with UNICEF, and also Playground and other African Union, for them to actually come up with this, a kind of a campaign, you know, which is called Together Against the Marriage of Young Girls. So this campaign is going to, you know, go on while the games are also going on. So during games, they have to, like, educate these girls what they need to do and why they don't have to, you know, find that as an easy way out. Football has already given them the chance to actually try and see how they can make something, a living for themselves, without them having to rely on, okay, once I'm 15, I have to get married. I mean, across the world, 15 million young girls are forced into marriages before they're even 18 years old. So that's really bad. So having that bad statistics, CAF felt, okay, let's partner with UNICEF, with African Union, with Cameroonian Football Federation, see how we can actually, you know, curb this using football as an example.
Thank you, Cecilia. We do hope that the girls are able to retain their title.
Yeah, that's the hope.
Cecilia Morigbe is Channels TV sports correspondent. Well,